In May of 2018, I was taken for $40,000 in a romance scam. It was a quick nightmare of only 6 weeks. It took a year for me to get the courage to try dating sites again. On July 28th of 2019, I texted a gentleman on Match.com that I found to be very sincere with what he wrote and his pictures he had. It took 2 days for him to reply saying he would be interested in chatting, but asked if I could give him some time as he was selling his home in Chicago and had to pack and move to Miami, Florida. A week later, he contacted me through the dating site and said he was still in the process of moving but did have some time to chat. He asked me for my email as it would be easier as his subscription was ending and he wasn't going to renew. We exchanged emails and started with many lengthy letters. These were wonderful letters, so intense about his life, family, deceased wife, and son and daughter and grandchildren. Through these letters, I felt I knew him very well. He was an engineer building bridges all over the world. He had traveled and lived in many places because of this profession. One email I received, he told me he was going across the states to finish up a project and he would contact me when he got there. He also asked if I could sign up for Hangouts as this is how he communicates when he's on job sites. I agreed and was looking forward to hearing from him soon. 5 days passed before I received an email. He was sorry it took so long, but his luggage, phone, and computer got damaged on the plane and he had to get things fixed. I asked where he was and he said Hong Kong. I was shocked. I thought across the states meant maybe California. He said he would be there for 2 to 3 weeks, and then when he got back to the States, we would meet and possibly start a new life together. October 31st, 2019, I received a floral arrangement from him saying he loved me. I was so excited. We continued chatting on Hangouts for 4 months before an event happened. There was an accident on the job site, and he and several workers were in the hospital in serious condition. He even sent me a picture of him bandaged and had IVs in his arm. His wallet was stolen and he was very ill. He would try to keep in touch, but it was hard since he was so bad off. Of course I understood and was very concerned. In November he asked me a question. Could I send him $2,400 to his bank account as it was frozen due to the theft of his wallet, and he had no money until the situation got settled. He also had got 2.5 million, but IMF had frozen his account due to fraud and he could not get his funds until he gets back to the States. I agreed and I got him the money. He gave me another person, an American, account number to deposit the money to. Before doing this, I went to the bank and asked if this person had an account with them. I was told it's an active business account out of Georgia, so I proceeded to deposit the funds. A few days later, he said he had received the money and appreciated me doing this for him. At this point, I would like to clarify that I've never talked to him, voicemailed, or video chatted. I have never heard his voice or seen his face. There has only been a couple of pictures and some wonderful words. After that money exchange, I began to feel that he was not so interested in me as much as he used to be. He kept complaining how trapped he was in Hong Kong and needed to get home, but he had no funds. Finally, in a conversation in January of 2020, he asked if there was a way that I could get him $25,000, that it would get him back to the States and pay bills he had. I told him I don't have that kind of cash. He was very upset with that answer, accusing me of not wanting to help him. He asked how much my house was worth. He asked me to sell it, and he would pay me double what it was worth when he got home. He told me not to worry about any of my bills, that he would take care of me for the rest of our lives. I must say, and I'm ashamed, but I did agree to put my house on the market. I'm so glad a purchase agreement fell through due to COVID-19. I would have lost everything and would have been homeless. He started to back away on conversations and became negative towards me, saying I don't trust him, accused me of being deceitful and not telling him the truth about the house. During all of this, I continued due to investigating into this information. He was on Facebook, and he did have a business site on LinkedIn. His name would never come up in American databases. I have copies of his birth certificate, passport, bank account numbers, PayPal business debit card. They all look legit, but I don't think they are. One day, I went to his bank and showed them the information and asked if he was a member. He was not in their database. I also got in touch with his daughter in Manchester, UK, and told her I was very concerned about his well-being. She told me that maybe he was going to do harm to himself as he's so depressed. She did hesitate to give me info on him, but knew of a lady who made her father very happy. She needed to confirm with him to make sure I was that woman. I asked her to keep it between the two of us as I knew he would be very upset. The next day, I got a message from him asking what did I say to his daughter. I confessed and told him everything I had written to her out of concern for him. He admitted she did not tell him all and that he was upset I would contact her. He said I was only thinking of myself and didn't care about him. That this was just another way for me to check up on him. This shocked me that he would think this way. It took a lot of explaining on my part to convince him that it was the good intentions of my concern. Finally, April 14th of 2020, I told him I would buy him a one-way ticket to come back to the States. He was excited and told me it would cost $10,000 to pay for a ticket and pay outstanding petty bills and have some pocket money for his travel. I told him I was going to only pay for the ticket and I would buy it on my credit card. He hit the roof, saying I do not trust him and he has never paid for a ticket in advance in 25 years. He was always paying cash at the airport. He does not fly anything but first class or business. I would have to send him the cash, and he would mail me when he got his ticket to confirm the flight times and when I could pick him up. When I told him I don't have the cash and that it was to be charged on my credit card, he again accused me of not trusting him. He told me this plan was not going to work, as I was not willing to do what he wanted. I told him that he has nothing, and everything I do for him is not good enough. If it were me trapped in a foreign country, I would swim across the ocean to get back home. I told him he should take care of what I offered him and be happy to sacrifice first class for economy just to get home to me. As of April 15th, 2020, I have not heard back from him. I decided I am done with this person after 9 months. I now do believe he was scamming me from the beginning. I fell in love with the words he told me. I'm a 70-year-old young woman looking for someone to grow old with. I have come to the conclusion I will be alone for the rest of my life because I do not trust people. Thank you for letting me share my story.